Straight from the YouTube dojo, far away from Joe Rogan's dojo, it's Weeknight there with Ellie Muller. And now, a man who is about to give Joe Rogan a run for his money. Yeah, right. Like keyword outbox Joe Rogan. Ellie Kagi Muller. Ha! Welcome to Weeknight. I'm Ellie Kagi Muller. What's our guys up us? Let's go. Let's go to one. I expect by amateur span. It's no problem now. Just vigilante videos and gameplays and whatnot. I'll share his animations. He helped me show with his reactions and things like that. Web Design 18. Of course, this podcast advances discussions and everything else. Like most of this gameplays, my own Gabby with this thing covers. Michael's like has his Michael program and all his other projects. Rebecca came at us like Swagger Vortex 733VA Studios with her voice acting skills and everything else. Emotional Fireflies 97 with random stuff, and Plumber J2 exclamation mark with random stuff as well. Oh man. Oh my goodness. My goodness. We got a banger of a show for you tonight. It's the final night of podcasting week. Every night this past week we have been talking about a new podcasting personality, and tonight is no different. This time we're talking about Joe Rogan. Now, Joe Rogan is a UFC podcaster. And because this is a UFC related matter, I would like to turn the attention. Now, I would like to. I'm going to give Adam a chance to come over here and tell us what the UFC is all about. Adam, come over here, will you? Alright. Now, I'm going to tell you some jokes about Joe Rogan, but first, there are some people out there who don't know what the UFC is. So, Adam?
Joe Rogan, he commentates the UFC championship fights. Now, what is the UFC? It stands for Ultimate Fighting Championship, I believe, and basically is where the best of the best go to see who is truly the best.
Okay, thank you. Now, Joe Rogan, like you said, is a UFC guy. He wants all the UFC fighters to get some more money because he says that they are undervalued. He thinks that they are undervalued,
especially after that fucking deal.
Explain the deal to everybody.
I forgot with who, but basically, UFC fighters need to have the official UFC brand that they went with. I think it's like fucking U staff or Everlast, whatever the fuck, and they can't have their own sponsors on their gear slash shorts. So all that money that they used to be making, gone.
Okay.
Gone.
Alright. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I wish that other people would take Joe Rogan's lead, but what can you do? Now, his podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
JRE.
It was on YouTube for a while, but now it's on Spotify.
Yep.
But here's the thing, it has received over 1 million downloads a month.
That is because, one, Joey Diaz. And if you don't know who he is, well, if you're trying to be PG-13, no. If you're trying to be PG-18, no. If you're trying to be rated R, he's your guy.
Right. Now,
I'm serious.
I cannot believe that, we are here talking about Joe Rogan. I mean, we've been doing this show, 12 years almost?
About.
Wow. And we are about to dish out the rejected opening remarks. Keep in mind that usually they're a little out there, but this time, well, I'm going to leave it to you to decide. Check this out. Action.
Fucking Joe Rogan. The DMT God himself. The one who, if he does that, you're fucking dead. Listen up. Joe Rogan wants all the UFC fighters to get some more. Basically, he wants them to get more money because they get paid enough, and you only get paid if you're in the big event, which is kind of bullshit. But anyway, they're not being valued as high as they should. True. Wow, why didn't you say that 5 years ago? Fuck you, me! Anyway, Joe Rogan's podcast is an exclusive show on Spotify, but was on YouTube until the million or $1 billion deal to get on Spotify. Yes, they paid this man $1 billion. And I'm shocked. Yes, I am. How can a podcast go from YouTube to Spotify? Because it's Joe fucking Rogan. Because he's a crazy idiot. Anyway, I'm gone. I'm gone.
Alright, it's time for another installment of Dancing Flies. Watch. Oh yeah, you can get down, can he?
I know.
And you want to know why this show is not like any other late night show? That's why. Alright, let's do a top 8 list. Perfect reason why. Alright.
Hello, welcome to the top 8 reasons why Joe Rogan's podcast is about the UFC. It's not all about the UFC, but alright. Number 8, he gets paid every time a UFC fighter gets promoted, possibly.
Number 7, all the fighters took him to the park last year and nobody argued.
Number 6, Joe destroyed 18 punching bags last week. That spinning kick.
Number 5, Joe didn't want to be punched by a talking tree.
Quite possible. Number 4, he wanted to get the UFC fighters away from the streets.
Facts. Number 3, it took the world 5 years to realize that the UFC exists.
Possibly. Number 2, a UFC fighter had to do a movie recently in order to make ends meet.
And number 1,
Folded! Folded! Number 1, why not? He loves the UFC more than WWE, and everybody knows that's
Folded! Why not? He loves the UFC more than WWE.
everybody knows that WWE blows right now.
Folded!
You ain't never.
I'll be back after this. Oh, my goodness.
Did you wash the dishes? Oh yeah! Did you read my story?
Totally!
Did you want the rest of my food?
Yes, I would like that.
The girls want it.
The guys want it.
Every night, all night, we want it. Gotta have it. Nick at night.
You know, too many people still buy carpeting the old, slow, frustrating way. I sure hope you're not one of them. They spend days shopping around from store to store, and then when they do decide, it's weeks before they get it delivered, sometimes even months. But you don't have to do that, you know. All you have to do is call us at 588-2300. We're Empire, and we'll be out to your home within hours with carpeting you'll fall in love with. And we'll have it installed in 3 to 4 days. 3 to 4 days, that's all. Our prices still start at only $6.95 a yard, including polyfoam padding and professional installation. We offer credit terms with no installment payment for 60 days. And if you order 2 rooms or more, you get this nifty little Bissell rug shampooer. Absolutely free. All you have to do is call. 588-2300. So what'll it be? 3 or 4 weeks? Or 3 or 4 days?
The girls want it.
The guys want it.
Every night, all night, we want it. Gotta have it. Nick at night.
Okay, welcome back to the show. It's still podcasting week, and Even the people behind the Random Report are getting into the podcasting week spirit. That's right. The people who make the Random Report, are in the podcasting week spirit. Check this out.
Hey, have you ever seen a cat dance before?
Whee! Look at me.
Wouldn't you say that was pretty weird, Kong?
I don't know about that, but this can only mean one thing.
What?
It's time for another installment of the Random Report. Hit me!
From somewhere outside the Comedy Central studios, far away from the place where Joe Rogan records his podcast, it's the Random Report. And now, 3 people who are even funnier than Joe Rogan will ever be: Michael, Leroy, and Marina!
Thank you so much. Good morning. Welcome to the Random Report. By the way, Joe Rogan, stay out of our way. We don't want you to mess with us. At any rate, I'm Michael. I'm Leroy.
And I'm Marina. UFC podcaster Joe Rogan says that UFC fighters need to be paid more because they were being undervalued.
And they're being undervalued because not too many people care about the UFC, eh? In other news, Rogan has just moved his podcast from YouTube to Spotify. Well, who'd want to listen to a UFC podcaster, let alone on Spotify?
Let's be honest. His podcast did reach over 100 million downloads per month last year.
Oh, God.
Oh, God is right, Mike. Only 5,000 people are watching this show regularly.
That's just on Nick at Night, Andrew. How about some random poetry with Dave Passion? Let's go.
Joe Rogan cares about the UFC. I'm not a fan of fighting, but that's just me. He has a deal with Spotify. Like, are you kidding me? He's the big star while I'm on a cable TV. Like, I need to end this because this has become a fad. Joe, if you mess with me, I'ma be real mad.
Whoa, slow down there.
Look, I'm sorry, but when I heard that Joe Rogan's podcast was picked up by Spotify, I got jealous.
You yelled at me, Dave.
You yelled so loudly I had to run out of the studio.
His screams can change the world, and I should know something about that because I'm a superhero.
I'm so sorry about my behavior. Please forgive me.
You don't have to feel jealous either.
I hear you. I'm Dave Passions.
I'm George Thompson.
I'm Dr. Andrew.
I'm the Art Man.
I'm Michael. I'm Leroy.
I'm Marina.
And I'm Greg Stevenson. And don't keep running, and don't forget to not let Joe Rogan make you join the UFC. I don't want you to get hurt. Good night and good morning, folks.
This has been the Random Report. Now back to Weeknight Updates, Joe Rogan Spectacular. Then stay tuned for the wee hours with Craig Knightley and his guest, Joe Rogan. That's all coming up next on Nick at Night.
Is Joe Rogan gonna see this?
Who knows?
The Random Report was taped in front of a live studio audience at Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando at Universal Studios, Florida.
Take a trip aboard the Nick at Night special.
Non-stop to TV land.
It's like going on an all-night vacation. Good TV for the TV generation. Nick at Night.
All right. Here we go. Whoa. That was a great Random Report sketch. But now, it's time to get serious. Let's have some talking time. Let's talk about it. Hey.
Let's talk about it.
The chickens and the lickens are the founding fathers of talking time. Let me explain this to you, okay? 808 BBC before your common era. One fine day at 808 now for an AM, PM, morning, afternoon, evening, night times, all times of the day. They came together. Well, actually, they met for the first time. They all got together. They got funky with it, and they did what? Oh yeah, was that this? You don't thought you could come back and ruin this? Hola! Welcome back to Talking Timer. And here's the news with Gungy. Here's where it is, Cammy. Now, let's do this thing. UFC podcaster Joe Rogan from the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, okay? He said that he thinks that fighters are undervalued. Yes, and he understands the financial situation at hand. Well, he said, I think they should get paid more. You know, and he was talking to American comedian Andrew Schultz. He said, it's a crazy way to make a living. I think you should get the most amount of money you could possibly get, but it's also a business.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. In the UFC, sometimes there was a fighter who basically said how much he made after he went to the doctors and shit. He walked out with like $44,000. Now you might be thinking, that ain't too bad. That's just a day's work. No, that's first of all, it takes months to make a fight if you don't have a name, a big name, and even if so, it's still months, and then plus a month for the fight camp for that fight. So that's months and months of work for what a guy came out with $44,000.
Okay.
You're poor.
Yeah. Now this is what one of the fighters said. You know what? Now this was light heavyweight champion John Bones Jones. He said it gets to a situation where you get a guy. Actually, they talk about him, right? He said it gets to a situation where you get a guy like John Jones who's like, I got a contract for light heavyweight, but what do you get? What do you want me to give me to fight Francis
Ngannou?
Ngannou. Thank you. I want a lot of expletive money because that guy is terrifying. And the UFC say you get what you are paying your contract. And he's like, well, I'm not fighting them. And they go, okay. And it's one of those situations where I don't know who is right and who is wrong. I don't know how much money they will make for that.
Now you see, look. Let's put some brain in this. John Jones. He doesn't fight often. That's partly because he gets suspended for doing dumb shit, and that's because also it's weird. It's hard to explain. Anyway, go on.
Now,
for weird.
Now, Joe understands what how tough in a position the UFC is in, but he also understands the fighter's perspectives. Now, this made me think, why isn't Joe Rogan in charge of the UFC?
Because he isn't Dana White, and plus, how do I say this? He doesn't like the Olympics, but that's only because they don't get paid, or at least not that much. Like, and then in that Joe Rogan Experience podcast episode, he went on to say what it was something like they don't pay college students because of some in the US some law, some bill passed saying unpaid prison labor. They were comparing college athletes to free prison labor. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering this, but still. Anyway, apparently his podcast is going to Spotify. I'm not sure if Spotify will allow him to have the insane one, Joey Diaz, but hey.
Now here's what's interesting. Yes, it is on Spotify. As a matter of fact, as of September 1st, it became global on Spotify. And it's an exclusive now. Now, listeners won't have to pay to access the episodes, but they will have to become Spotify listeners.
Yes.
Now, last year, the show reached about 190 million downloads a month.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Joe Rogan is a man of many things. He enjoys jujitsu. He enjoys DMT, to which what was that? Look it up. I ain't trying to get into that. And he also enjoys getting into debates and learning shit. I guess you can say. Anyway, go on.
Now, that's crazy. You know what? And here's another thing. Like his YouTube channel, which is which his podcast used to be on. You know what? It says here they will remain live, according to the Verge, but it will not contain full episodes anymore. There might be clips or other supplementary content which could benefit from YouTube's search algorithm and push people to listen to full episodes on Spotify.
True. But anyway, his podcast is a way for fighters and anybody really to tell them to say their stories and shit. Like GSP. One time he was on his podcast, he talked about his colitis when he was going to fight Michael Bisping for the, I believe, the 185-pound championship, the 205-pound championship, one of those things. I want you to watch that. That's actually interesting. And also, there's another one with GSP where basically GSP said some about aliens and missing time, and then later on, I think on different podcasts, Joe Rogan said I think he might have CTE, which is basically your brain's fucked up.
Right. Now, what do you think about all this?
Joe Rogan is very interesting. Like, his podcast is a place for anybody. You can talk about politics. You can talk about shit that most people don't want to talk. You can talk about anything there. Although the people that go there don't go there, they go there for free. But it's basically him giving you a big ass shout out. So,
right.
What do you think, boy?
He's a nice guy, very entertaining. From what I've read, and you know what? I've seen Joe Rogan with you before, and he's pretty good at what he does. Very skilled. Right. It's not like you're on here and you talk about written jokes, and then you finish up the show with a whole lot of stuff that comes from the articles that you just mentioned. No, Joe Rogan literally is prepared. Well, he's prepared, but he's also very skilled.
He's not prepared. He just has some questions in mind, and he knows how to keep you talking and how to stop the argument from coming just you. He's very. There's even like a breakdown on how he debates, on how he doesn't try and raise his voice to fight. He keeps his voice at the same level. He breathes like there are breakdowns. There are great episodes. Just watch it. Actually, like, wow,
that was incredible. I mean, it has been a great week, and we just did a great show. Please tune in for the ending experiments. Thanks to everybody who was involved in this, and in the ending experiments and everything else. And I'll see you back here again on Monday. That's news. I'm out, skis. Farewell, bye, farewell. Hey, folks, listen. Please comment down below what you want us to talk about and make silly jokes about on the show. Please do that, because let's be honest, this show right here, can only get better because of the help that we're getting from you. All right? True, we have a staff here, right? We have a staff here and everybody else, but at the end of the day, it all depends on what you want to see. I mean, our interaction. All right? So please, help us out. Please, help us out. Thank you. Now, let's get on with the ending experiment. What you're about to see might be shocking, thrilling, and interesting. Now, Adam might be a little loopy in some of these parts, and in other cases, he might be a little too out there, okay? So, viewer discretion is indeed advised. it has been advised. Thanks.
It's time to go into the weekend in style. That's right. It's time for the ending experiments. It's time to get your randomness going. That's right. It's Random Thoughts with George Thompson.
Well, welcome back. Good morning. I'm George Thompson. We're back with some more random thoughts, some most random, weirdest thoughts and jokes on Nick at Night. Now, check this out. UFC podcasting personality Joe Rogan is trying to get the UFC fighters more money for being undervalued. So, two things. Number one, all they do is fight, which is an intensive activity. And two, has Mr. Rogan ever seen anything on Nick at Night? Anyway, his podcast has been downloaded 100 million times in the last, or per month. And, well, it's because it's an exclusive podcast on Spotify now. Really? Do you think that anybody is impressed? Vigilante just started his own band. It's pretty rocking.
You do know that Vigilante doesn't use the actual...
What's your point?
As good as that performance was, it's still not the same as having a popular podcast.
True, but here's the thing. Joe's podcast is getting a lot of attention, and we're not even getting noticed from our shows on Nick at Night.
Our shows are on around 3 o'clock in the morning. How can our shows ever get some love?
Don't you have a show?
You're right. We'll have to finish the discussion later. Toodles!
Well, I gotta get out of here. I'll talk to you next week. This is George Thompson. Peace.
That was your randomness for tonight. That was Random Thoughts with George Thompson.
And now, because Joe Rogan refused to appear on Nick at Night, here's a woman who's always ready for some Nick at Night fun, Miss Becky.
Thank you so much. Good morning. My name is Miss Becky, and I have some good news to report. I've been begging Nick at Night to make this whole thing official for a few weeks now, but I can now happily announce that this show is gonna be called The Miss Becky Show! And that means I'm finally getting a raise! Granted, I'm now making $2 an appearance, but that's still something. Anyway, let's talk about Joe Rogan. He's a UFC podcaster who wants all of the UFC fighters to get more money, cause he thinks that they're being undervalued. I can see that, but do you know they're being paid to beat people up to the point of no return, right? Anyway, his podcast cannot be listened to on Spotify. Well, why not?
Spotify? Why would he go over to Spotify?
Well, his podcast did get 100 million downloads a month last year.
That's right! And Spotify loves a popular podcast.
I thought Spotify loved money.
That too. Of course, Spotify makes money whenever someone downloads a popular podcast.
Don't you two have shows to do?
Oh, snap, you're right.
Right. See you, Miss Becky.
Well, that's it for me. Until next week, I got a race to celebrate. Toodles!
That was the Miss Becky Show. She deserves that raise after all that hard work. Wouldn't you agree?
It's time for a brief release from awkwardness. It's Luther's Joke of the Week.
Okay, so Joe Rogan's podcast has gone from being on YouTube to being on Spotify in just a couple years. Well, because it's gotten around 100 million downloads a month. So does that mean that this little show here can get me on a show on NBC?
That was Luther's Joke of the Week. I told you that would be brief.
From the Nickelodeon Studios at Universal Studios, Florida, it's the Overnight Show starring Marley Carson. This morning, discussion about Joe Rogan. Miss Becky sings a song about Joe Rogan, and Luther does a stand-up comedy routine about Joe Rogan. And now, here's Marley.
Thank you so much. Good morning, and welcome to the Overnight Show. My name is Marley Carson, and I'm only stuck here at 3 in the morning because this is the only time slot that's available. Now, I've been trying to get an even bigger show for weeks, but my boss doesn't like that. He told me that it would hurt the Nick at Night brand. Here's the thing, though. People told me that I'm better than Lily Singh. Well, if we keep this up, then I'm on my way to NBC. Let's start talking about Joe Rogan before my boss starts having second thoughts about my show. Joe Rogan is this UFC podcaster who wants all of the UFC fighters to get more money because they're being undervalued. Really? What about me, Joe? I'm only getting 9 cents a week, and Nick at Night thinks I'm Craig Knightley's warm-up act. Anyway, his podcast has been getting over 100 million downloads a month lately, and it's so popular on YouTube that Spotify has decided to make it exclusive. Wow, that's almost like giving Miss Becky a record deal after singing this song.
Joe Rogan has an exclusive podcast today. I hope that he doesn't let us astray. Joe Rogan needs to give us all a break. There's not much more of this than I can take.
That wasn't even a real song, but you get my point. Of course, it's better than Luther's stand-up routine.
Hey, did you know that Joe Rogan has a successful podcast on Spotify now? Great! Now people will have to choose between dancing on air and listening to Joe Rogan's podcast. I mean, come on. 100 million downloads a month for a podcast? That's insane. It's like Nick at Night getting $700,000 a week. It's impossible.
It was just about as funny as my monologue.
At least I don't start off my routines with jokes about how I want more money from our bosses.
Yeah, and for the record, I do have a record deal. It's with RCA Records.
I'm not even going to ask. My thanks to Miss Becky and Luther for being here, and I'd also like to thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week with a discussion about Jenna Fisher, and hopefully it'll be a lot funnier than this. Stay tuned for the wee hours with Craig Knightley. Craig's guest this morning is Joe Rogan. See you next time. Sweet dreams.
The Overnight Show starring Muller Carson has been a Casting Cube production. It was also recorded for a live studio audience at Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando at Universal Studios, Florida. Let's all play Who's That Celebrity? And now let's say hello to a guy who will become a celebrity before too long, Joey Headphones!
Hey, welcome aboard. It's a game that has a question inside. The question is, who's that celebrity? I'm here with my contestant from Clementine, New York. Here's Steven Drums.
Hi, I'm Steve Drums, and I'm the man who danced for 50 hours straight.
You must be exhausted, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, let's play the game. I'll show you a photo of a popular celebrity, and you have 10 seconds to guess. If you guess correctly, then you will win $1,000. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, now this guy is a UFC podcaster, and your time starts now.
It's Joe Rogan!
Yes, it is Joe Rogan. Nice going.
Woo!
That's $1,000 for you, and we gotta go. See you next time. Later.
Who's That Celebrity has been a Casting Cube production. It was recorded for a live studio audience at Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando at Universal Studios, Florida. This is your announcer speaking.
Hello, people. Welcome to the shit that Joe Rogan hates. Number 1, unfair treatments. Because why not? Number 2, eggs, apparently. Number 3, deodorant. Number 4, apparently, lotion. Number 5, barbers. Number 6, any ref that stands up a fight for some reason. And finally, number 7, anyone who wants to fold him like a Hamlet.
Ah, yes. The cool breeze of autumn. Well, early autumn anyway. Now, Joe Rogan needs to remember these quotes, okay? 1 punch can ruin 900 lives.
That's not how.
Anger should be controlled at all times. A broken punching bag will cause an earthquake in 7 years.
That's not how.
And always help the poor, especially if they are in the UFC.
Understandable.
Alright, so guys, look. Joe Rogan's favorite things. Bullshit, it's not boxing. It's freaking Taekwondo. And then there's the UFC. And then there's punching. There's kicking. There's podcasting. There's microphones. Tell the fist away from your damn mouth. Get out of the phone. Anyway, I'm done.
Red unboxing!
No. It's time for what Joe Rogan does. Now look, Joe Rogan has this kick. I call it the spin to the fucking body. So what does is he takes a stance and then he spins and he goes. But let me tell you something. When he does it, it's not like a fucking gunshot. It's like I go in the broke I damn him. But nah, he generates so much power. Like, let me try and give y'all the fucking sound of it. It's like that, but louder. And with every kick that he makes a dent. Like, hold on. I need to show y'all. I can't. Joe Rogan is 50 years old. And he showed GSP the spinning kick. And even GSP was scared because this man made a dent in the punching bag over at his place. Think about that. GSP is a GOAT. Greatest of all time.
Okay, so I just have one thing that's puzzling me. You know, this is really interesting, okay? Joe Rogan says that he wants the UFC fighters to get more money, right? Because they're undervalued. My question is, how much money are the UFC fighters making?
Well then, allow me to educate you, boy. So guys, they're making about $100,000. That's what Donald Cerrone makes every time he goes out. Now, Cerrone is on, it's not the prelims, but he's like on the main card-ish. So, meaning that if you're on the main card, meaning that you could get your freaking eyes kicked out, you only get $100,000. Goodbye. Wow.
So what did we learn? Well, I say we learned a lot. We learned that Joe Rogan's podcast is now on Spotify, but it used to be on YouTube. And we also learned that the UFC fighters aren't making as much money as we thought they were.
Yeah.
You know, and we also learned, wow, Podcasting Week has a lot of backstories to it. Who knew? Alright, let's do some music and we're out of here.
Bruh.
And now, jazzing your stress away, it's the musical performance time.
Okay, folks, it's time once again for musical performance time. This time, I'm going to give you this classic song from The Simpsons. Do you remember this? It's called Baby on Board, and it was sung by the B Sharps in the early 90s. Check this out.
Oh shit, we got penis. Go on. No.
And now, a very special performance by one of our very own, Marley Carson, aka Emotional Fireflies 97. Check it!
You probably think that you are better now, better now. You only say that 'cause I'm not around, not around. You know I never meant to let you down. Would've gave you anything, gave you everything. You know I say that I am better now, better now. You only say that 'cause you're not around, not around. You know I never meant to let you down. Would've gave you anything, gave you everything. Whoa, I did not believe that it would end, no. Everything came second to the Benz, though. You're not even speaking to my friends, no. You knew all my uncles and my aunts, though. 20 candles blowing out and open your eyes. We were looking forward to the rest of our lives. Used to keep my picture posted by your bedside. Now it's in your dresser with the socks you don't like. And I'm rolling, 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 rolling with my brothers like it's Jonas, Jonas. Drinking heavy and I'm trying to forget, but I can't get this out of my head. You probably think that you are better now, better now. You only say that 'cause I'm not around, not around. You know I never meant to let you down, let you down. Would've gave you anything, would've gave you everything. You know I say that I am better now, better now. I only say that 'cause you're not around, not around. You know I never meant to let you down, let you down. Would've gave you anything, gave you everything, whoa.
Hello out there from TV land, it's really great to see you. Get great TV pleasure from Nick